March 2025 and I've just signed myself up for something big. On the back of a few years of dedicated running and endurance events, I'm now going to attempt my lifetime dream, and it's something that's going to push me to the mental and physical edge. My name's Taylor Baston, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my experience of running the entire length of the UK. So it's the 15th of March 2025, and yeah, me and Jay are out here doing some content for Lyriclo, ready for the announcement video, which is probably going to be going live in like a week. I'm going to be running the entire length of the UK, but you won't see that for probably a few months because this is the documentary video. Yeah, we've been trying to get over our fear of talking to the camera, to be honest. Yeah, and it's a bit of a process, but yeah, this will probably be the last check-in video now I'll do before starting the run in probably like 6 weeks now, which is crazy. But yeah, it's all going to be training. Finally got a sunny bit of weather. I'll see you in Scotland, boy. Training this winter was harsh, but I suppose it needed to be for what I was about to attempt. Luckily, just as we started, something changed and the summer started early. The drive up to Scotland was stunning and I was excited to get going, but I couldn't help but feeling anxious about just how far it felt in the van.
Remind me I'm free, man. Freer than I've been. It's something I'm feeling. I'm wonderfully.
I was also nursing a couple of injuries, which didn't help the nerves, but I knew before we started that it would almost be impossible to avoid an injury for that amount of miles. We were blessed with blue skies and a clear view, which I've heard is quite rare even at this time of year. Right, so we made it. It's been a long training camp, but yeah, we are starting off. It's the 11th of May, Sunday, and Monday the 12th we're going to be starting the journey to Land's End. See how long it's going to take us. We're aiming for about 27 days. We are not far off from the sign. Got here earlier and it's really busy because I think it's probably the only sunny day they've had for a while. So yeah, can't wait to get going now. We'll check in the morning just before we get going. Look how beautiful it is, man.
Live well, you reap what you sow. The future is bright if we can ebb with the flow. You're something, I'm nothing. We were everything. Anything to save me from the goodness she.
As you can see, the weather's a little bit different to last night. No more sun this morning, but we kind of like that for today's conditions. Just want to try and get built up into the run. Cooler conditions, it starts to heat up as we go down south. Good night's sleep, to be fair, better than the night before. So I think we're getting used to the camper situation now. So yeah, let's get going. Back to the sign for the last bit of media, and then going to get going. The bit I'm actually good at. So yeah, let's go.
You could have been a wonder, taking your circus to the sky. You couldn't take it on the tightrope. No, you had to take it.
My aim for day one was to try and make running this far every day feel normal. The strategy was to treat it like a day of work, log your 8 hours, have breaks and eat a big lunch. I did start getting carried away, being so fresh from the taper, but we'll forget about that for now. The injuries I had going into it didn't flare up and I didn't feel overwhelmed by the challenge, so day one was a big success. Day one is done, 32 miles, 51k-ish, buzzing with that. This place is absolutely stunning. We haven't seen a car for literally hours today, just long straight roads, no bother whatsoever. Everyone's dead polite, friendly. It's crazy really, like every single person who stopped past is like, stop, that's what we're doing. Yeah, unreal. Ready for day two. Day one is done. Look at that for a free camping spot. Day one was pretty good. Nothing too challenging on there. I think just saving myself for tomorrow, see how I get on. Made some nice food at the camper, bit of chicken, bit of rice, and I'm just enjoying this. fact we could just park here for the night for free is just one of the many things we loved about Scotland. There were so many similar places like this available too, which makes me want to come back as soon as possible. Anyway, back to running, and this was the first day in the Highland Hills. Definitely should have been taking it a lot easier at this point, but still feeling fresh. Taking it easy went straight out the window. The feet were covered in blisters, but overall, the body felt a lot better than expected, for now at least. We pretty much followed the coast from start to finish, which was more than welcome, especially when you're from the Midlands and you barely get to see it. And just like that, day 2 was done. Well, we only got to day 3 before having the first scare of the mission. I couldn't wait to get running in the sun after those awful winter months, but as it got warmer and I was around 10 miles away from the end point, I started to notice something was really wrong. I struggled to put one foot in front of the other and every muscle in my body was seizing up. I dragged myself to the end, putting it down to fatigue, and passed out in the camper. Coming in and out of consciousness, I was red hot, freezing cold, sick, dizzy, and couldn't eat or drink a thing. Heat stroke got me, and I had no idea what would happen the next day.
And roll it.
Let's do it.
So, who is this challenge for?
This challenge is definitely for me, selfishly or not. And I think what it is, it's to see where my capabilities are, really. Each time I do an event like this, I always push it and realise I've got more left in the locker, and it keeps going and going and going. And I feel like this is like the ultimate challenge to see if there are any capabilities that I reach, or, you know, if things are limitless.
It was all in a dream, babe, all in a dream.
With no food or water in the body, day 4 was tough. It was just as hot as day 3, and it was probably a bit stupid of me to carry on in that state. As stupid as it was, I also learned a lot about myself and how I can deal with that level of fatigue. I got my head down, walked the hills, and had longer stops to get me through the day. We did make it into Inverness, which was huge for me considering how rough I was feeling in the morning. Going through that was a serious wake-up call, and it reminded me that I'd need to be fully locked in to get this challenge done. Also, the smell of those burgers after not eating all day was something else. Looking back, days 5 and 6 were some of the best days of the mission. The scenes were insane, so many people kept stopping by, and the open roads and cycle lanes allowed me to run carefree for most of the day. More importantly, I'd finally adapted to the heat and found my flow, enjoying every single mile. Day 6, no it's not, it's day 7 now, isn't it? So we're trying to figure out whether to go a bit faster in the mornings, get things done earlier, more miles in the bag, but it's whether to save yourself and do the whole pace throughout the whole day. It's trying to weigh up what's best really, because you don't want to be in the heat for as long as possible, but at the same time, just trying to get the miles in early, might be quicker, might be better. Yeah, trying to enjoy some peaches, get some hydration in, and get ready for the sun, because it's another nice day, so. Day 7 was a strange one really. The roads and the scenery were top tier, but I think a week of back-to-back ultramarathons started to drain some of my emotion, to be honest. It was weird because I expected the first week to feel like a huge milestone of the mission. So it's the start of day 8 now. We've done a whole week. Been really good so far. Obviously there's a few wobbles throughout the way. Day 3 was a big one in terms of getting the heat stroke and then like passing out in the van afterwards, feeling terrible. And then day 4, couldn't eat anything, so just trying to get my appetite back, which has been hard. But now we're fully into it. The last couple of days have just flown by. Yeah, day 7 was a good day, but first time I needed a kip in the van at like lunchtime. So I managed to get some sleep, probably for like 20 minutes, but it all threw me out, properly out of sync. Just wasn't used to that. And then I just started running a bit too quick, thinking like, oh, I've lost time, even though I'm not racing anything, just in terms of the day, making the day longer. But actually, I just started running too quick and probably got myself in a bit of exhaustion too quick. I've got a lot more DOMs today than I have done on the other days. Just going a bit, I don't know, a bit too much.
Now you're my everything. I was lonely.
As we said goodbye to the Highlands, I was worried that the roads would get busier and we'd lose some of the landscapes that we loved. Whilst there was a few signs of this as we ran through the towns, I had absolutely nothing to worry about, as it was all just as stunning as before. Some of these hills were brutal though.
I remember we was in the park. Late night, made love on the grass. Put my head in the clouds, counting all my stars.
That's for a place to finish on day 8. Solid day in the books, to be fair. Started off a little bit wobbly, but probably my strongest finish yet, so can't complain. I had my first sign of injury on day 9. It was only minor pain in the Achilles, but it was concerning knowing how many days we had left on the mission. On the flip side, I hit my first major milestone by reaching Edinburgh. Before the challenge, this was the furthest north I've ever been, so for some strange reason, it started to feel like I was finally on my way back down the UK.
Now you're my everything. I was lonely. Yeah.
When I planned the route, I completely messed this section up. We ended up taking a sketchy shortcut through the Pentlands with road running shoes on. I'm so lucky I didn't take any damage here. These 2 days almost didn't feel real, if it wasn't for the pain reminding me that it definitely was. I couldn't believe we'd gone around one of the busiest parts of Scotland, and within 20 miles we'd be here in our own little world. I wasn't complaining about it though. I felt so strong and dialed in at this point. Plus, it was cool enough in the mornings to get a big chunk of the work done before we got to the hot afternoon slog. At this stage, I'm using poles a lot throughout the day. Not so much to help me get up the hills, but more for stability. Sometimes my leg would start to feel a bit shaky, and I could allow my arms to take over for a little bit. Plus, the sound of them hitting the floor helped keep me in rhythm for some reason. That's day 10 done. 10 days on the road. A few little niggles, to be fair, I can't lie. My hip started playing up today, which I've never had any pain in my hip before when running. Left knee, back, right underneath my shoulder blade. That's like twinging. I think just because of like being fixed in the same position, but can't really complain other than that. Obviously I ran about 550k now, maybe just under. Yeah, feeling strong. Like this part of the world's just ridiculous. Can't get over it really. When we're looking on Google Maps, it just didn't seem anything like this when we're trying to figure out the route. So it's all just been like pleasantly surprising the whole time. Back on the road for 11 tomorrow, and then halfway through day 12, we will be crossing into England. Which is scary, actually, to be honest. After the wobble we had on day 3, I wasn't expecting us to be in this much strong position, and yeah, we're here now. Mad. Oh, this is the first Airbnb we've had since we've been on the road. Been in camper life the entire time, so it's been quite a blessing, to be fair. I'll put a little clip in of what it looks like now. Yeah, unreal. Cheap as well. These guys were the most amount of traffic we had on day 11. The roads became even more vast and it made the world feel bigger. I felt completely in control of my paces, even on the climbs and the steep descents. I would soon be leaving Scotland behind, which I was both excited for but also gutted about. I felt so lucky to be experiencing this, even though the days were tough. If only it could stay like this for a few more days. we had a good night's sleep last night in the Airbnb, and today is the England crossing. So we're about 20 miles away from the drop-off point, and from there it's probably about 12 mile till we get into England, Gretna Green, and then yeah, I think we're finishing Carlisle today, so quite a big stint, but going to make some serious ground up, ready for when people turn up tomorrow. Injury wise, my knee seems to be fine this morning. It's not locked up like it was yesterday, but my Achilles has started to flare up again, so I'm probably just going to keep taping it now for probably the rest of it going forward. So see how things go with it. Would have missed this view there. Made it to the sign, only about 500 miles to go, is it? Something like that, yeah. Scotland done, dusted, so we'll see how far we get into England. Let's
How important for a challenge like this is it to have a good team around you?
It's the most important thing, 100%. But I've also realised over the process, it's not about having the biggest team ever. Like, for this, it's going to be my mum, my dad, and then my friends when they can get out of work and come up on the weekends. Yeah, massive bonus. So, yeah, so important. The first full day back in England, what should have been the worst day turned into one of the best. Having my mates drive 5 hours out their way just to support me was huge. Whilst they probably expected to be running in the early summer sun like I had been for 12 days, they couldn't have come at a better time really, with how bad the weather was going to turn. Plus, the roads were savage and having a big group could have been an actual life-saving situation. At the start, everything was pretty easy, roads were paved and everyone was dry. After lunch, the pavements disappeared and we took on the A6 head first in some of the worst conditions I've ever ran in. As a team, we survived, but I couldn't imagine what it would have been like solo. A serious effort from everyone who came up. Day one in England done, and whilst it was a brilliant day, I had a feeling that this is where the challenge really gets going. Another top day of support for day 14, but I was starting to realise that the warm, dry weather that I was getting used to was slowly fading away. My face said it all really, another day in paradise. I was actually more surprised at the cold than the rain. I don't know how my dad managed to keep behind cycling at my running pace for that long every single day. As we started heading down the northwest of England, the roads started getting busier, and soon enough, all of our refuelling points consisted of supermarkets or petrol stations. The rolling hills and landscapes were now a thing of the past for a while. I was properly nursing the Achilles at this point too. I think I got carried away running with the boys, and I think it just got tighter as the day went on. I was messing around with tape and compression to take some strain away from it. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. The day 15 done. Everyone's left us now from the little group trip that came on over the weekend. Got the day done in this horrible conditions. Weather's turned really bad. Mum's freezing cold holding the camera behind. But yeah, I got it done. Let's keep moving on for the next few days. On day 16 and 17, I was getting pretty tired of wet, dangerous roads and not so friendly drivers. I tried running against and with the traffic and still got dirty looks, so I just did my own thing in the end.
Okay, running, music or no music?
Time and place for both,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to lie, music always,
Yeah.
when I'm on my own in the mornings. It's hard enough to get up at 5 o'clock and get out there in the cold and the rain, so any little bit of help's always nice. So music,
Yeah.
But I will listen to podcasts, and if I'm racing or if I'm with a group of people, completely social, no music. 100%, yeah.
What sort of artist would you listen to?
Definitely mix up the genres all the time. Obviously, Kendrick Lamar gets you fired up straight away in the morning. Tupac, the Foo Fighters, always. Barry Can't Swim. But then, to be fair, Kings of Leon. If I want to get really deep, probably my favourite artist is Radiohead, just to listen to and get like into your thoughts.
But basically, just something with some noise, something to get you fired up.
That's it.
Get you
Something
moving.
to think about.
Yeah, man.
Or not, depending on what mood you're in.
Yeah, true.
For days 18 and 19, the quiet and hilly roads were welcome once again. The change in elevation allowed for some different muscle groups to take over and help reduce the pain going through the lower body. Whilst not running totally pain-free, these couple of days did wonders mentally as a lot of stress was taken away from the day. Heading into the third weekend, I was pretty close to home, so I had some amazing support from my friends and family for the 2 days. Whilst it was fun, I was really trying to avoid speaking the pain I was dealing with into existence, so I just focused on talking and dealt with the discomfort once the day was done. We were blessed with pavements and clear skies this day, and that's a good job, as I would have felt so guilty making the lads run on the main road in the rain again. You also know it's bad when you start getting really excited about a pavement on a busy main road. I proper rated the scenes whilst running through Bristol, high on completing 3 weeks of back-to-back ultra marathons. Not really a sentence I ever thought I'd be saying. I think the lads proper enjoyed it too. We treated day 22 as the recovery day, easy miles and less distance. We also avoided a lot of unpaved roads to help the mind take a break for a day.
Right, so the reason I've not been doing too much video myself is because I've kind of just been overstressed with this left Achilles, just trying to make sure it's all okay. Obviously we're going to bed quite early and trying to just do as much rehab on this as possible because I've been getting all these mad shooting pains. I think I've kind of come to a happy place with it, so that hopefully I can start doing a bit more like this. Basically I've tried the gel heel, arch support, different lacing techniques on the shoes, warm-up techniques, using straps, bandaging it, compression socks, everything really, and everything seems to work for like a day and then it comes back worse. But then I just yesterday just went for just a trainer as it is, and hopefully that seems to have done a bit of the trick, but I'm sure it will come back a little bit towards the end of the challenge, so just fingers crossed. I just don't want anything worse to happen. I couldn't imagine if it snapped, and so far into this journey now if that's a problem, so I'm just gonna keep hoping for the best really.
The heavens opened on day 23 and I was starting to feel a bit lethargic for the first time since we started. At the time, I blamed the recovery day for this, but once I realised how much weight I was losing and worked out that I was burning more calories than I was consuming, it was obvious that I was completely under-fueling. Whilst the fueling played on my mind, the single track roads into Devon were what I needed to zone out and focus on putting one foot in front of the other. Two brutal, hilly and dangerous days for 24 and 25, and as much as I was telling myself to eat, I really struggled to find anything appetising that was calorie rich. Somehow though, I actually found myself running quicker towards the end of the day, which made no sense at all. As we headed further south, the roads were some of the most dangerous we'd experienced, but it started to feel more like the first few days of Scotland, and this really made us think we'd come full circle over the last month. I couldn't help but feel like the end was now in reach, but there's still a lot of miles left to go. Penultimate day. Business as usual, but emotions flying all over the place. Was I happy it was going to be over soon, or was I gutted that it was coming to an end? I'm unsure, but one thing I do know is that we started to raise a huge amount of money for charity, which was unbelievable.
And obviously, you mentioned this is now your challenge for charity because you now feels like the right time.
Yeah.
So, who is the chosen charity and why?
So the chosen charity is the British Heart Foundation. And the reason I've chosen the British Heart Foundation is because of this geezer here, who is my granddad, who we lost a few years ago due to kind of a degenerative kind of heart following a heart attack when he was in his like mid 40s. And he always kind of suffered from that throughout his kind of adult life, really. And then we ended up losing him a couple of years ago. And he had great support from like the NHS and stuff throughout all of his life. But, you know, it's for him because hopefully within the next few years, we keep getting the funding and no one will ever have to go through that kind of thing again. And people who have it even a lot worse than us will never have to go through it again as well. So it's for all those people who are out there who are struggling with, you know, heart conditions and have family members who have suffered from it and lost family members. So yeah, British Heart Foundation is going to be the charity, and that feels right for me.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's brilliant.
So here we are. It's the last day. It's been a while since I last did a little video. It's just been so busy with obviously getting everything done every day. Things like been adding on to the end of the day each time. So yeah, it's just making it a lot harder to get some good content and stuff. But yeah, we're about 26 miles out from the final post. I can't believe it, really. Kind of weird to say it. Mixed emotions, really. It's kind of, I'm excited to get it done because I'm absolutely knackered. But at the same time, kind of sad it's done as well because it's kind of the simplicity of just getting up and doing the same thing every day. But yeah, got to get it done either way. Can't wait to see everyone at the end. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, it's proper cloudy over there. We've got thunderstorms forecast. We might get a bit of a dry spell at the end of the day when I actually get there, but I doubt it. I don't know. It's not looking too good. Either way, doesn't matter. Get it done, get some photos and get out of there.
Don't stop me now. Don't stop me.
I knew people were coming down to see me finish, but I wasn't expecting people to run as well. This was insane. It was also some of the furthest my mates had ever ran, clocking in 15 miles off the couch. Of course it had to rain, and the pavements were few and far between, but we couldn't have it easy on the last day, could we? When I saw the sea, I was getting a bit worried that I wasn't getting emotional yet, and I had this feeling like I was completing a lifetime dream, and it was just feeling like any other day.
I don't know where we are, but we're about 10 miles out. It's starting to get real now. Now I've seen the sea for the first time. Yeah, ready to get it going now. Everyone's here.
We said goodbye to the group, and then me, my mum, my dad, and the dog Roxy went together to get this thing done. We started together, and we finished together.
I'm about to finish running the entire length of the UK. I've been running for 27 days, 27 ultramarathons back to back with no rest, all in support of the British Heart Foundation. I want to say a massive thanks to everyone who's been out there supporting me since the start. We've raised a lot of money for charity, learned a lot along the way, and I can't wait to get this thing done now and celebrate properly. Let's go!
I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. Having a good time. Don't stop me now. Having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
Of course, when I crossed the line, everything came out. 27 back-to-back ultramarathons can play with your mind, but seeing all your best mates and family come all that way and be so happy for you means the absolute world. The perfect ending. Grandad, that one was for you, mate. I'd like to personally thank everyone who's donated to the charity page and to all the people who personally sponsored me. You guys are legends.